Another reaction, and we are reacting to the geography now, Croatia. So let's see what this is all about.
This episode is brought to you by Live Me. Yes, Game of Thrones was filmed here.
Oh my god, are you serious?
It's ontology.
I could have never imagined that.
Geography.
Hey everyone, I'm your host Barbie. We are back in Europe and today we are going to discuss 101 Dalmatian islands. Ha! Actually, it's more like 580. But first, the flag of Croatia is a little bit more fun and jubilant than most flags because it has the iconic checker pattern in the center. First of all, the flag is a horizontal tricolor that utilizes the pan-Slavic colors of red, white, and blue in equally sized stripes. The blue stands for freedom and hope, the white stands for peace and unity, and the red stands for the revolution and sacrifices.
Wow.
The middle is the coat of arms with the iconic shahovnica, or the checkerboard shield patterned with red and white squares, sometimes referred to as the cheki. Some will say that this is because long ago there were like two Croatias. One was called Red Croatia, one was called White Croatia, with little evidence.
Was it Red Croatia?
There are 5 stones on top of the cheki that form a crown above the shahovnica, each one representing the
I love that everything has a meaning, has a significant meaning.
Regions of Croatia. The first one is for Croatia proper with a crescent and a 6-pointed star, Dubrovnik with 2 red stripes on a dark blue shield, Dalmatia with 3 crowned leopard heads, Illystria with a golden goat with red hooves because, hey, why not? And finally, Slavonia with a 6-pointed star, 2 silver stripes, and a pine marten running on a red field between the silver stripes. Yeah, for such a small country, those 5 regions have had an impactful historical
And the fact that they were able to put all the regions in one flag.
Wow.
They really know how to manage space.
I switched to whisper flow.
But one thing I love about
never go back.
their flag is the checkers.
So beautiful.
First off, before we jump in, you might hear a lot of other countries, specifically in the Slavic world, using the word Hrvatska referring to this country instead of Croatia to a lesser extent. It's kind of like that whole thing with Germany.
Wir sind Deutschland.
Oh, you mean Germany?
Allemand?
Tyskland, Niemcy, Saksa.
Nein!
First off, Croatia is located on the western part of the Balkan Peninsula in southern Europe, bordered by Slovenia, Hungary, Serbia, hugging Bosnia and Herzegovina, giving them a small coast on the town of Neum, and just barely have a 10-mile or 16-kilometer wide border with Montenegro at the southernmost tip of the country on the Adriatic Sea. The country is divided into 20 counties, and the country's capital is Zagreb. Fun side note, the small Bosnian Herzegovinian port of Neum splits the country's Dalmatian coast, technically creating an exclave for the Dubrovnik-Neretva area. They were thinking of building a bridge on the Pelješac Peninsula so the entire country would be navigable by road, but plans were canceled in 2012. Speaking of which, historically, Croatia was divided into 4 general regions. You'll probably hear a lot about these if you go to Croatia. They are Croatia proper, Istria, Slavonia, and Dalmatia. Speaking of which, Dalmatian dogs are said to have origin Croatia proper, Istria, Slavonia, and Dalmatia. Speaking of which, Dalmatian dogs are said to have origins in Dalmatia, hence Dalmatian. Okay, no more rabbit.
Dalmatia dog, you know this dog now.
Speaking of which, Dalmatian dogs are said to have origins
Oh.
Dalmatia, hence
that was a
Dalmatian.
good
Okay, no more rabbit
discovery.
trails. We really need to get back on top. Now, of course, because of its complicated past that we really don't have a lot of time to discuss, Croatia has quite a few land and sea disputes, as well as enclaves and exclaves, but I'm just going to list some of the most notable ones. The Bay of Piran, the Dragona River, the Sveta Gera, all that mess on the Mura and Drava rivers. Then we get to Serbia and it looks like earphones that were just pulled out of your pocket. The funny thing is, nobody really pays much attention to these places, which is why when outsiders do, funny things happen. Back in 2015, a Czech guy came in and self-proclaimed his own micronation called Liberland on the supposedly unclaimed island in the Danube. He was totally arrested. 2 other guys tried unsuccessfully to attempt the same thing on separate islands and failed. The country has over 1,000 islands on the Adriatic coast, even though only about 50 of them are inhabited. The largest ones being Cres and Krk, which even though Croatia ranks around 125 in country landmass, it's all the way up to spot 20 in coastline length. That's more than Sweden and South Africa combined. In your face, Mongolia! By the way, homework assignment, see if you can find this heart-shaped island off of Croatia's coast.
Oh, this is not a love sign.
But people come here to see
the heart
Pula.
shape. Oh,
Split.
very beautiful.
The Croatian coast is acclaimed by many to be by far one of the most captivating places in the
beautiful.
entire world to visit, especially to witness a sunset. Oh yeah, and Zadar has a strange thing called a sea organ that looks and sounds like this. Okay, let's talk about plants and animals and stuff now, shall we?
Wow, I think so. Because I was scared at that time.
Okay, so Croatia may be primarily known for its coast. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't any notable features inland. Although a lot of the land outside of urban centers is used for farming, Croatia still retains some world-renowned nature zones and national parks. First of all, the country is kind of split along the Dinaric Alps that meander diagonally across the northwest regions, all the way to the south along the border of Bosnia and Herzegovina. The division kind of encapsulates the inner flatter areas that slope down into the Pannonian Basin, where all the rivers like the mighty Danube flow. Because of this division, television, Croatia experiences quite a contrast in climate even though the country takes up a small area. Zagreb can be completely different from Dubrovnik at any given time. About half of the entire country is made up of karst topography, which is basically another word for dissolved, cavey, limestoney ground that erodes into fascinating shapes and providing a network of basically cavey area. Just like we studied in Bulgaria, Croatia is loaded with caves. It's not that hard to find them, and many of them are absolutely breathtaking. Caves like the Blue Grotto on Bishevo Island and the incredibly deep Velebit caves
loaded with caves. But that makes it more beautiful though.
1400
Because
meters.
how many countries has
caves.
That's
no.
cute. The one place
People
that
love to
everyone in
explore.
Croatia will proudly boast over will be the famous Plitvice National Park, which contains the Plitvice waterfalls and lakes, which is where the coolest music duo on the planet, Stephen Hauser and Luka Schulich, filmed their Mumford & Sons cover.
I would love to play.
I
I would
can't
love to
believe
go
I missed
there.
you guys like a month
Play
ago when you
music
came into
too,
my
you know.
town and did a concert. Sorry, I love Two Cellos. They're a great band. What? I can like music. Croatia also has that small Đorđevački desert and a wide range of wildlife such as bats, otters, elk, boar, martens, wolves, and that incredibly rare
that's kind of
Eurasian.
I
dangerous
actually read
Yeah.
that they give half of their land, not even half, maybe quarter of their land to like wildlife, willingly.
Wow.
That means like they are very particular about nature.
Lynx, the largest land
Love
cat in
nature.
Europe that can be found here as well. The coast, though, once again takes the center stage when it comes to Croatia's spotlight moment. Because of its islands and coast, Croatia has had a huge boost in tourism in the past 2
Maybe.
decades, an industry that
No
outsiders
wonder.
didn't exactly have access to
Whoa.
prior for the longest time. And the reason
All
why
those
Look
people,
at this
man.
place.
All those people.
Demographic.
Croatia has a really, really long history on who it is and how it got to where it is now. And I'm just going to summarize it in like 8 seconds. Roman Empire, kingdom, subordinate, empire state, wars with Turkey, Yugoslavia 1, Nazi puppet,
Whoa,
Yugoslavia
wow.
2, Civil War, and finally, European Union member. See, that wasn't so hard.
Illyrians.
The country has about 4.5 million people and is actually one of the 30 or so countries experiencing a population decline. The country is made up almost entirely of ethnic Croats, around 91%. Serbs make up about 5%, and the rest is a slew of other people groups, mostly Slavic, but toss in a few
So
Italians, Jews,
Croats
and why not some Chinese, and hey, you got Croatia. Now, like mentioned in the Bosnia-Herzegovina episode, pretty much everybody in the Slavic Balkan nations can understand each other, especially these 4 countries. The only difference is that these 2 write in the Cyrillic alphabet and these 2 write in the Latin alphabet. It's a little more difficult for these 4 countries to understand the remaining Baltic states, like Slovenes and Bulgarians and Macedonians. I mean, the former Yugoslav Republic. Just call them Macedonians.
I don't get why you are
Why do you think Bulgaria? I'm not even
So now their language is probably the same, and the only difference is their alphabets.
Yeah.
They write in Latin. One writes in Latin.
It's mine. It's not
You always
yours.
think
It's
I am a
mine.
Guys, look at that guy.
We get back to my episode?
Exactly.
Croatia.
It's pretty much all Slavs, whether they're from Russia, Poland, or the Czech Republic, which, by the way, just changed its English name to Czechia, or the Balkan Slavs, can all pretty much hold a basic, simple conversation with each other and get by if they speak really slow and articulate well. It would be like if a Jamaican guy tried to speak to a Singlish-speaking guy.
Behind the statue, the coffee shop with the boom boom.
No, I see
With
it's
a
on the
boom
right
boom?
side of the statue.
The statue, I'm gonna look behind. I'm gonna look to right, man.
Alamak,
You
Nice.
said, boy, you said behind.
Alamak, no lah. You know this is right, this is left. You very simple
They're
one.
right.
Oh,
Okay, they're right.
They're still agreeing.
Okay. All you had to say is the right, not behind. Clear now.
Yeah lah, clear already lah. Alamak, give
the
you
right.
simple instruction also don't know.
You are
No,
clear
they
now.
don't
Yeah
know.
lah, win already lah.
Guys, that was Kevin and Leighton. Give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Another quick way you can tell the Slavic Balkan states apart is the denomination. Croats and Slovenes are predominantly Catholic, while Serbs and Montenegrins are typically Orthodox. Croatians
Okay.
love water polo and don't even get started on the whole Nikola Tesla thing. He was a Serb,
But he was born here.
but he was a
Yes,
Serb.
sir.
But he was born here.
You know Tesla.
But he
Person
was
that started
a
Stella.
well, Nikola
Tesla,
Tesla.
sorry.
He was a Serb, the Orthodox denomination. Croats and Slovenes are predominantly Catholic, while Serbs and Montenegrins are typically Orthodox. Croatians love water polo and don't even get started on the whole Nikola Tesla thing. He was a Serb,
But he was
was
born
born
here.
but
Yeah.
he was a
Yes,
Serb.
sir.
Well, okay, so now that
Okay.
brings us to
Yeah.
what is your state? What is your country? Is it where you were born or what your parents are? Honestly, it is what your parents are. So he's actually a Serb, in my opinion. If he was born there, doesn't mean
What do you
he's
mean?
a Croat.
But he was born here.
Essentially, Croatia went from the fall of Yugoslavia and socialism in the 90s and the Civil War in the mid-90s to being labeled as the top travel destination by Lonely Planet
Wow,
in
wow.
2000 something. I think it was like 2005.
Dude, Paul, seriously, we gotta check our sources. You're making us look bad.
Shut up, Brandon. I'm doing my best. Let's talk about Croatia's friends.
I think they made this really fun. I love it.
I
knew there was something more.
It made it
I don't know.
Greater than what I could see.
where you can easily remember, and it's not boring.
In order to understand Croatia's friends, you're gonna have friends. In order to understand Croatia's friends, you're gonna have to look at two things: business and religion. First of all, they're neighbors. When it comes to Serbia and Croatia, it's kind of like part of Serbia, part of Croatia. I don't get it.
Like Nigeria and Ghana.
Oh, yeah. Always fighting.
But they like themselves.
Croatia and Serbia have a lot of historical beef, but they hate to kind of admit that they secretly are kind of a little bit totally attracted and hot for each other. Business and diplomacy is still very big between these two, and ultimately they still cooperate pretty well. I was told that typically they even give each other a lot of points in Eurovision or something like that, and that just proves it. Eurovision proves everything. Slovenia was like a good friend that still held a few grudges since Slovenia was the first to join the EU, and they originally vouched for Croatia, but then they were like, wait, before you get in, we gotta settle some disputes, otherwise I'm blocking you. And they did. And then it got messy, and then it got fixed. The end. By default, Croatia has an affinity for Catholic-dominated countries like Italy, Spain, and Ireland, especially the Irish, since they kind of empathize with the whole struggle with the UK, and they are totally fangirls of the Vatican. When it comes to their best friends, however, they would probably say Germany and Poland. Germany is a really close friend since they are kind of seen as like the promised land after so many Croatians moved in and made fortunes there. Germans also love visiting and doing business. Without a doubt, though, Croatians love it when the Polish stop by. They're like the best friend who lives far away but Skypes every week and sees them twice a year. On top of that, Pope John Paul II was from Poland, who liked Croatia so much that he visited 3 times. In conclusion, Croatia is kind of like the surfer cousin of the Slavic countries. After all the drama subsided, he opened up a hotel and a tiki bar on the beach, got a tan, and was all like, "What's up, world? Come take a vacation in Croatia." Stay tuned. Cuba is coming up next. Hey, geography.
Okay, this was a nice watch, and
Nice, was very
nice. A discovery. Now I know where it's from, and I know the history about it. So what do you think about this? Any details we missed, let us know in the comment section. I'll see you in our next video.
Bye.